Welcome to Watching Film with Seth Varnadore. I am a former high school and college football coach, and this year I'm going to be teaming up with Alligator Army and alligatorarmy.com to do some written piece every week and then a film review of the previous Florida game. So we're going to start right here with the first week against FAU. We'll start talking a little bit about the defense, a little bit about the offense, maybe some good stuff, some bad stuff, what can be improved, but just kind of take a general look at the game and then things that stuck out to me. Some weeks will be more in depth, some weeks will be a little more general, but let's get started with this FAU game. And then I think we're going to start with the defense here. And let's start with some of the question marks that this defense had. I think one of the biggest ones was what are they going to look like up front through the middle. So let's start here with a nice play right off the bat by transfer Antonio Valentino. You see already his get-off's pretty good right here. He's moving before anybody else is. He was not called off sides here. Good job getting arm over the center, getting into the backfield, making a play. He had a couple flashes on Saturday night. They're going to need a lot of production from these guys as the season goes on. Other transfer in, Mr. Newkirk. Right here, you can see the strength he's got. He's got arms that are bigger than a lot of people's legs. You see him press out the guard there and now get off, force the play wide for about a 2-yard gain. Later on in the game, here he is, rushing the passer. Little rip through. Hits the quarterback, somehow doesn't bring him down, but you can see how disruptive he is in the pocket, and I believe he was a little banged up. So this is probably a good sign to see if you're a Florida fan. And there's Mr. Valentino chasing it down, forcing an incompletion there. Another guy that was kind of hurt last year and had some questions about was Jeremiah Moon. He lined up a little bit at linebacker, which I think a lot of people were kind of puzzled by, but here's a great fit by him. I don't know if he's lining up at linebacker, just he's lining up there and they're going to move him like they do here and kind of bring him inside. So you're going to see some movement up front here, and then he's going to come and fit this up on fourth down on a little wildcat play. Watch how he takes on this puller. Bang. Stands him up in the backfield. Comes off, helps make the tackle, holds up the runner for a big fourth down stop. Really big play by him. Bam. Make a play. Great job by him, making himself some money. A guy that I think is going to make himself a ton of money this year is Zach Carter. Not just for stuff like this where he's coming off the edge. Great move. Little dip. Run the hoop type move there, right? For being as big as he is, I mean, he's got some flexibility. Runs by this tackle. But I think more importantly is watch him here fight this double team. They're trying to run zone to his way. Double team, get up to the backer. Watch how he fights it, keeps the backer, or I think this ends up being a nickel, keeps him clean, and that play gets strung out for 2 yards. Again, he's making himself some money right there. Holds 2 guys, doesn't let him get to the next level, and they go. So, big bugaboo with the Florida fans. Third downs. Playing off coverage on third downs. I'm going to show you what a concept FAU really liked a lot early. And then how they come to it a few times. And then Florida starts to kind of shut it down and play a little bit tighter coverage. So this is a staple concept. A ton of teams run this. Going to be like a snag route, a corner, and a flat Y corner. Some people call it snag. Into the boundary, I think, is an interesting wrinkle of this for FAU, is it's into the boundary. Get him to widen this guy. The corner is taken off. You just want this guy to be a little tighter here. So they hit him with it on the snag. They come back to it in the second quarter. Same idea. Again, a little bit slow, right? Because it's tough. You got a guy over the top. He's kind of not sure where to play it. He's playing this snag because it's compressed into the boundary, and they actually end up dropping it down to the back. It's only 3rd and 4, so he's able to get the first down. Again, same concept into the boundary. So we got a lot of young guys playing. Will they improve? Will it get better as the game goes on? Here's the same exact look later. A little bit different formation, but the same idea. Look how they pass this off and play it. Great job up front getting pressure, but watch down here, right? Gets to the flat, pushes to the snag. He's got the deep. They got this thing covered up beautifully right here. Even without the pressure, there was nowhere for the right now. The quarterback, he's got nowhere to. He's looking to throw it right now. It's a quick game. He's got nowhere to go with the ball. We end up getting a little bit of a face mask here that extends the drive, but schematically on it. And if you were worried about playing press up top, these guys are not playing off coverage. And you saw that on some other snaps. I think, line of scrimmage is here. He's at 2. He's at 1 maybe. I mean, these dudes are up in their face. And right, press isn't always man coverage. You can play man outside and some zone stuff inside, depending on what type of coverage you're playing. If you're playing quarters, you can do some different things, but being up in those guys' grill is always helpful. You see at top, looks like they're playing pretty tight. Right? Down here, I think he's off, but I think he's squatting. So he's squatting for short stuff. They could be playing him. What they did a few times is play him as like a cloud in the flat and let this guy get over the top. And if you feel pretty good with your backers or a nickel that can run with that guy, see that on both sides there, you can do that kind of stuff. And then when you got a pass rush, make the quarterback hold the ball for an extra second, you're going to get home. Same thing, or similar, I should say. Again, eyes locked on here. He's playing outside leverage, so it could be some type of quarters kind of combo pattern matching type coverage with that outside leverage there. They cover it up deep, force him to run. You got 2 backers sitting there. I don't know if they're both spying. One's waiting for the back to come out. Back doesn't come out till late, so they both converge, make a stop on 3rd down. And then we'll end with a couple things I like that I think Grantham doesn't get enough credit for. Is he's really good at understanding pass protections and how teams are going to slide protection. So right here, you even see the ESPN telestrator here. Or as it cuts off, the ESPN, the announcer's saying, they're bringing blitz from here. They're bringing blitz from this side. Look at these guys creeping up, right? That's exactly what they want you to think. They want these guys to slide the line this way. And so what's a slide? A lot of teams will bring 4 of their linemen. They'll slide them all, so they'll all kind of go to this side and zone. So they'll block the next gap over and leave him on an island backside. Some teams will go 3-man slide and leave 2 backside. It depends. There's kind of a different schools of thought. But what Grantham is trying to do here is get the slide this way, knowing that I'm bringing pressure from this side. So watch how this happens here. He gets the slide. You can see right here he's sliding. And look how many guys really don't block anybody. So they got to slide this way because they got 4 potential rushers over there, right? So they slide that way. Most of them don't come. You get 1 off the edge, 1 inside, and 1 wrapping around late, right? But look, he ends up blocking nobody. He ends up coming to double team. Meanwhile, Florida's got a man advantage on this side with nobody to block. So just getting them to slide that way is a win. You've got the numbers in your favor now. Right there, they've got 4 to block 2, and I'm bringing 3 when you only got 2 blocking. You're either going to get home, or if you try to throw it quick, they've got the corner up here squatting, safety getting over the top like we showed on one of the previous plays. So they're going to, if you try to throw it quick, you got the corner squatting. If you get it out a little bit deeper, well, now you got a really small window to make this throw, and the safety comes over the top, knocks it away. So really cool stuff right here from Grantham. as much crap as he gets, he basically got the offense to do exactly what he wanted here, sliding the line this way. Here, you get something similar where they're going to slide this way again. You have all these potential rushers, right? They might count him. Look at all these potential rushers they have over here. 5 potential rushers kind of up at the line of scrimmage with this bunch look. So what are you going to do? Well, it looks like they go to a full slide. So that means everybody's stepping to the gap this way. So he ends up coming to take this. And what's that leave? It leaves Brenton Cox, I think, alone on the edge with nobody blocking him. And then this is Moon here. He just kind of plays with him. It's almost sitting in this window. Right? And then I believe this is Ventrell Miller up on the line of scrimmage. Looks like he's going to blitz. He's actually going to peel back and play with a shallow crosser, which they look like they were expecting to see some of. He's got eyes right there. But the offensive line counted him as a blitzer. And look, you've got 5 guys blocking 3, and 1's coming free. So you get the offensive line to basically take themselves out of the play just by how you set up your front and how you understand what's happening in their protection schemes, right? So I thought defense did some good things. Obviously, you want to clean up some of the stuff at the end, but they do some pretty interesting stuff on that side of the ball. The one thing I think on the offensive side of the ball, beyond the quarterbacks, which we'll get to, is how are we going to look up front running the ball? Will they be able to run this ball this year? So they did some pretty good stuff. So here's a little wide zone. So wide zone, it's about kind of horizontal displacement. So to the left here, once this first level is secure, I can climb to the next level, but it's really a lot about horizontal displacement. The back's looking to get wide. When he finds a seam, 1 foot, you hear 1 cut runner. That's what they're talking about. Stick your foot in the ground and get vertical. Right here, not a bad job. So you see this, we're getting some push there. I think that's Ethan White getting up to the second level. Not perfect, but not bad right there. You've got a seam right there. White's got him turned back in. You're getting your back basically went on with the safety. Receiver kind of gets caught in no man's land, deciding whether he's going to go push to the safety or block the corner. He's probably got most dangerous. He kind of gets caught thinking, doesn't block either of them, but still pretty good run, pretty well blocked up front. Here's another one. So sometimes on these wide zones, backs are reading helmets. He sees this helmet flash here. This lineman, that's a tough reach, but what's he going to do if he sees if that guy crosses his face? Just wash him down the line of scrimmage. You see the left tackle here does a good job of cutting that second level. He's going to cut off the second level. Everybody else is stepping right. Back does a great job, get vertical, 1 cut, and then Emory holds the threat of run, holds him. You see linemen are getting to the second level here. Great job by the back because it wasn't super clean. And you might want to see this left tackle stay up, but listen, you get the guy on the ground, the back makes a great cut there. And you got guys working downfield, and the back's able to run it for a pretty good gain there. So again, pretty decently blocked up front. Here's a look at, I'm just guessing it's like power lock. So power lock, he's going to lock on the end. Everybody else, you're trying to get down blocks and good angles. And then you're wrapping the backside guard for the backer there. Really good job. Spring the back for a big run here. The backs ran hard, and Florida's got a bunch of good ones. So I think you're going to see a lot of those guys get on the field. Another run where you're bulling the backside guard here. And then you got DeMarcus Bowman, who I think we'll probably see a lot more of. Running wide. You see this end comes and engages right there. That means I got nobody on the outside there. I can give this and let Bowman use his speed to make a play. Zone read bluff. So this is more of an inside zone where it's not so much about horizontal displacement as is vertical displacement, but this is still not a bad job here. There's some stalemates you'd like to see get a little bit better, but we're getting to the second level here. Reading this guy, he ends up being the one that makes the play, but they make him pay for it later. When he's in between, you got to feel like Emory's wants to pull that, follow that blocker. You got it all set up there, but not bad up front. Not unbelievable, but there's a nice little hole right there being created. The guy that ends up making the play and slows him down is the end that was being read. So you'll see later, I think it may have even been later on this drive, Emory pulls it for a big gain because that guy was getting a little nosy. Here's kind of the blocking wasn't perfect all night. Here's one that I think it's just, needing reps to play at this, right? So we get some run through right here. We go to double there, looking kind of a double here. They got on this run through. To me, it looks like inside zone. You got to either kind of have eyes for this backside gap too, or these guys have got to kind of overtake this and get to this backer. That's tough, but I think the center here, you want him to kind of stay more square, have eyes for this backside gap, because they just allow some run through right here, and the play's dead on arrival. So there's just like little tweaks like that I think that can be made, and that's just playing more, seeing more fronts, understanding kind of what the design of the play is, and maybe I need to consider this guy. I need to consider myself covered here. Because if I'm not covered, I can help double team. Maybe when he's at this depth, I need to consider myself covered and come off and kind of help there. But not a ton of craziness. One wrinkle offensively that I really liked, I went through it on Twitter real quick, but Florida went four receivers to a side quite a few times. So what that does, especially in the red zone, is makes you match numbers. So right now, Florida's got 4, FAU's got 4. That means I got 5 linemen and 2 backs here. So it's 7 on 7 out here, right? Except I'm going to read him. I don't need to block him. So my numbers are okay. I'm not like totally outnumbered in the run game, right? So right there, they stay out there. Give read. The back does a pretty good job because this is another one where maybe you're hoping. Right, this is another one right here where either the center's it's tough where he's at, but either, I got to slow down getting out to this double team, or I got to get the left guard to overtake that quicker so I can climb to that backer. But that's just stuff with guys playing together, full speed reps. Right. Probably want to get the center off to that as quick as possible, but he's kind of in between, so that's tough. So your back can really help you out by making a great play, a great run there. So then what happens if they don't match 4 to a side? So right here, they got 2 on 4 out here. That's an all-day throw from Emory. Easy read for him. Don't even need to worry about the inside zone. Take it, whip it out there. Get some good blocks on the edge, untouched in the end zone. It's just football is a numbers game. And then we get to see here when Anthony Richardson's in what the 4 to a side can do in the passing game. So he's technically covered, right? He's a second receiver on. He's covered. He cannot go out for a route. If he goes out for a route, a legal main downfield or an eligible receiver downfield, he's just going to run a bubble. But when you run this with tempo, it's hard to understand who's eligible, who's not, who's ineligible, right? It works on the defense a little bit. So you get the deep wheel route, and you probably get this ineligible receiver covered. So you got kind of a deep crosser post. He's going to come off almost like he's blocking, I think, for the bubble, and then run the wheel up the sideline there. You get a better look of it here in a second. But this is one that Richardson makes a good read. I think a little better throw, just to nitpick, a little better throw. Here's a touchdown. You see you got eyes to the bubble. You can't really he's ineligible, right? He's covered up. He comes like he's going to fake. Get down the sideline. Good throw. A better throw that doesn't hold him up. He walks in for a touchdown here. But good read, good throw, moving the ball down the field with that Florida side. Florida side again, running the ball. We're going to bluff this zone. Instead of kicking him out, we're going to run zone and bluff it. So you see this on one play. 1st and 10. Florida side. So what do you see, right? You're watching this. I see that I've got him to the backer. I'm reading him. I've got a blocker for this corner. I've got nobody for the quarterback. So what does a good offensive coordinator like Dan Mullen do? Flips it, calls the same exact play. If that's how they're going to line up, you got to punish them immediately. So right here, bang. Read him. They still only got one left. I got the tight end coming across for him on the bluff. Nobody's left for quarterback. And you better have somebody to count for this dude because he is a runaway freight train. And he can high step the last 10 yards and still nobody's going to catch him. So little Florida side kind of really gave FAU some problems. A nice game plan wrinkle from Dan Mullen and the offensive staff. Let's talk about quarterbacks. So we're going to see here one of Emory's better throws of the night. He didn't throw the ball downfield a ton. I didn't think they really cared, but I think this is one of Florida's kind of tried and true concepts. They'll run kind of like a curl or a dig. They'll run this guy on the middle read. I think depending on coverage, but a lot of times it turns into kind of a dig, and then he's in the flat. Right here, the middle read, open for the dig. Emory kind of, you see him reading the safety, drop it down to the middle read right here. On time, on target, easy first down. Then here's one, he's just late. I think he knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. He's just a little late here, and this one almost cost him big time. So it looks like Florida's just running mesh. Now, I don't know if this is a call to try to pick this guy or if they're just running normal mesh, but they're running mesh. The back's got the wheel. We saw this a ton against Georgia last year, right? Emory gets caught in between right here. That ball's got to be thrown right now if he wants to throw it on the line. Or if he waits to throw it here, he's got to throw it with some air and let the guy run to it. He does what you cannot do. He throws it late and then does not throw it with touch and about pays for it with a pick six, which would have turned this into quite a different game. I didn't think Florida was ever really challenged in this game, but 14-7 is quite a bit different. Florida ends up going down and scoring on this drive, I believe, to make it 21-0. That changes some things. He was late a few times. Here he just misses. I think this is a similar read to the one he threw the pick on. The corner shows like he's going to turn and run. I'm fine with him taking this right now. I just got to get a better ball on him. But I think you can see after the play, he kind of asked for it again. I think he could have maybe wanted to take that one-on-one there. But that's fine. Take 5 yards. If you can put it on him 5 yards and tackle, that's fine. But he got a little greedy before. So it's kind of good to see him not get greedy again and make the same mistake, but a better throw. Here, probably his worst throw of the game. It just looks like he's late to a deep crosser and just lets it get undercut. They don't ever show a great angle of this. But it looks like you got a deep crosser, a post, and then maybe a dig by the outside receiver, showing like quarterback power. You know, you don't have to throw it, right? That's something you learn the more you play right here. You don't like it. I think you could maybe take a shot to the post. It's hard to see. But, you know, don't throw that thing late and hang it up. They got guys on scholarship, too, that can make these plays. I think these are going to be good learning experiences for Emory. Here's the one in the red zone, the interception. Probably the worst decision and throw of the night. So all you got back here, it's a simple. This is like the simple. They wore this out. If you watched them against Tennessee last year, Florida, they wore this out. It's smash just from a different kind of look. Corner and a flat. You're just eyeballing this guy. High-low. If he falls back underneath the corner, just take the flat. It's third. I think it wasn't even goal. It was 3rd and 6, I believe. Take the flat, let him go. What you can't do is get baited into this throw. And now something I think I would guess the coaches would say, obviously this is Emory's fault. This is a bad throw, bad decision. The corner out, you could take it to the back pylon. For me, take this thing a little bit deeper. Don't flatten it out so much when you know you're going to be high-low on this guy. Make the decision really apparent for Emory. If I take that thing to the back corner instead of the front pylon, if I take it to the back pylon, maybe even with a bad decision, I can still fit the ball in there. But when you take it flat and you really reduce the space between you and him, if I'm at the back, look at how much more space I got between me and him if he's at the back of the end zone. So not a great route, I don't think, but it's mostly a bad decision by this guy. But what does Emory do well, right? I think there's times he got greedy, but then there's times like this where they're not bringing a ton and he doesn't force it. He just drops down and scrambles. He adds that run game element that Anthony Richardson also adds as well. But here, right, don't force it. They're only rushing 3. They're dropping 8 underneath all these throws. You've got what looks to be kind of a flood concept with him getting to the flat, coming back across here. They're dropping guys underneath all that stuff. So what's the smart play? Just tuck it and run and live to play another day. I think FAU didn't want to give up a ton of explosive plays in the passing game, and I don't think Florida was really enticed to throw a bunch of them. But you just take what they give you. You never go broke taking a profit, right? And kind of move your way down the field like they did on the first couple of drives. I think he got a little greedy and wanted to make a splash play, and that's something that he'll have to learn from. Here, right, we showed that zone read earlier where he gave it and probably could have kept it. Here, he keeps it. Great read by him, and he's a dynamic runner too. He's not quite Richardson, who's just a freak of nature, but this dude's pretty explosive as well. Florida's got 2 really good ones back at quarterback in terms of running the football. And then this was one of his better plays of the night, I thought, just not being greedy, right? We talked about don't be greedy. He got a little greedy in the red zone. Right here, you see these guys are falling off underneath the deep stuff. Don't be afraid to drop it down and let your guys that are talented make plays for you down the field. This ends up being, I think, an 18-yard completion. Nice, easy throw. You never go broke taking a profit, right? And this is the kind of stuff. Now here we don't get a good throw, but this is the kind of stuff I think that keeps Emory in the captain's chair there, in that starting quarterback right here. He sees something, right? He sees kind of you've got safeties moving, right? So let's go back to the beginning of the play. So right here, they showed he was out here, and they showed 2 high safeties originally, right? Florida may have had a run called or something into here, attacking this edge, right? It would make sense with where the back is placed, right? Well, now that doesn't look so good. If he's rolling down into here, he's rolling down over top of number 2, and this guy's rolling to the middle of the field. Emory sees that. He doesn't look to the sideline. He says, easy, easy, easy. Changes the play here. How do we know he changed the play? They're relaying out there. He moves the back. And now he makes a great check here. He's just got to make the throw. I think he gets tipped. He gives himself a dig to Copeland, who's one-on-one backside. It might get tipped, but make the throw. But that's a check to a great play. Look at all the space he's got there. Just make the throw, right? So good check. And these kind of plays, the checks and the check to the speed option in the red zone there, are why he's probably still the guy starting. But this dude coming up here is definitely pressing him for playing time. This is just a simple zone read. Same guy that Emory got. AR-15 gets for a big run here. And then he just suns this guy here at the end. Get off of me, son. He's a bad dude. This is the kind of stuff that maybe... It's kind of the duality of Richardson, right? You're going to see a blitz here, an indicator for young quarterbacks, right? I had a coach call it piggybacking. When you see 2 guys stacked like this, especially over a slot, this guy's probably coming, and then the safety's coming down to overtake that responsibility. I had a coach call it piggybacking. You'll see it a ton. Anytime you see two guys stacked with one guy kind of eyes in towards the line of scrimmage, he's probably coming. He's probably going to come down and cover the receiver he was on top of, right? Exactly what happens here. Florida goes 3 guys sliding this way, 2 this way. So they got 2 on 2 right there. We got one coming. I'm not sure of all their protection schemes, but maybe that's hot right there. So if he's hot, bang, put it right on that guy. Even though he's coming, put it on him, let him run after catch, right? So there might be a negative, right? He missed the hot. Well, so what does he do? He just avoids this dude, runs downfield, picks up a first down, and tries to take somebody's soul at the very end of the play. So a minus? And now we're looking at least 1+ right here. So this is what you get with this with these young talented guys that, maybe, he may not be able to handle everything on the offense, all the checks, all the protections maybe, but he's got some freaky athleticism and can do some things you can't teach. Here's another one that I thought, everyone's kind of talking about AR-15 and how well he played. Here's one I thought was a miss for him, maybe a misread. He ends up this is just straight 4 verts. It's at the end of the game. Mullen's trying to cover here for the boosters. Trying to get the cover for everybody. Cash those tickets. It's just straight 4 verts. He's got the crosser. More of a deep crosser with a 1 high safety look. He throws to the outside. If you look here, there's the window right there for the crosser. That guy. So he could have put it on him for a big play. Missed it. I mean, at worst, you gave yourself a shot at 1-on-1 outside, but this guy had nobody around him on the deep crosser. So maybe a little bit of a miss there. But you can't blame him too much for taking the 1-on-1 shot outside. But a little bit of a miss. All right, we're back to the top. I think you got to be pretty excited with some of the things you saw. Obviously, things need to get cleaned up. This is a good week for Florida to kind of clean some things up against a USF team that struggled so far this year and in recent history. Florida should be a lot bigger up front on both sides of the ball. Should have their way in the trenches. And with that, you're hoping you're seeing some more growth out of the quarterbacks, out of the offense, and see the defense continue to play aggressively and kind of stifle out these opponents as they get ready for a big test coming up in a couple weeks against Alabama.